Coming up on KOTA Territory News at 5:30, local roads are seeing some changes as we prepare for the upcoming Sturgis rally. Plus, a new study finds that South Dakota has a high number of at-risk youth compared to many other states. We'll have the details. And Attorney General Marty Jackley has announced that South Dakota's DCI is teaming up with ICE. Your news starts now.
From Skyline Drive, this is KOTA Territory News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Jack Cottle. In an effort to enforce federal immigration law on violent criminals and drug dealers in South Dakota, Attorney General Marty Jackley recently announced the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Department's partnership with the South Dakota Division of Criminal Investigation. Back in May, after touring the southern border, Jackley and other state attorneys general announced they would look for federal authority for agencies in their states. Jackley said with this new partnership between ICE and DCI, it will give him and his office the federal authority to decide whether or not they want to take an illegal immigrant involved with violent crime or drugs and prosecute them at the state level or move them on for federal deportation.
We hope to have this as an available tool to better protect the public when the Sturgis motorcycle rally kicks off. From time to time, we will come across either violent crime or drugs. If it involves an illegal immigrant, we want to just have the capability to make a decision on the ground what's best for public safety.
As part of the partnership, DCI aims to create a task force program which will have its headquarters in Pierre. Parts of KOTA Territory are under a severe thunderstorm watch at this hour. Chief Meteorologist David Stradling has a look at the first alert Doppler radar. We get the low-tech one. I hear the rain on the roof up there.
Yeah, we've had some rain here in town with this little storm system passing through. The severe thunderstorm watch is through northeast Wyoming and parts of western South Dakota. That goes until 8 p.m. We're looking at large hail and damaging winds as the primary threat. Let's take a look at first alert Doppler radar to see what exactly is going on. We have a line of storms south of Rapid City, is probably where the strongest portion is of it, and it extends through Custer and off towards northwestern Fall River County. Wind gusts up to 55 miles per hour are possible within this line of storms. That is just shy of severe limits, so we could be having a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings pop up, but as of right now, nothing in KOTA Territory. There is a severe thunderstorm south of Buffalo, and that's going to continue to move towards southern Campbell County with a broken line of showers and thunderstorms north of Sheridan into Carter and Harding counties. We'll continue to track these storms on radar throughout the show. I'll have more details on that coming up in just a little bit.
Thank you, David. After a week-long trial, a packed Pennington County courtroom anxiously awaited the verdict in Courtley Martin's murder trial for the death of 7-week-old baby Aiko. With a day of deliberation, the jury returned this afternoon with a verdict of not guilty on both the charge of murder in the second degree and abuse or cruelty to a minor. The verdict was met with mixed reactions from the courtroom, with some crying in joy while others walked out in anger. Shamar Tay Bennett, Martin's boyfriend, was also originally charged, but the charges against him were dropped in April. Martin is no longer in jail. A new report shines a light on the challenges facing youth across the country. South Dakota is among the states with the highest number of at-risk youth, with 13% of young Americans neither working nor attending school. A new report from Wallet Hub shows just how vulnerable some youth are in the 20 to 25 age group, especially with rising inflation and economic uncertainty. Youth and Family Services Western Prevention Research Coordinator Bill Elger says disconnected youth, those neither working nor in school, are more likely to face long-term struggles.
Those people that suffer that disconnect are really going to struggle. Their mental health is going to be challenged. Their interpersonal relationships are going to be strained. Certainly substance abuse becomes a much more of a likelihood for those folks. So when youth aren't in school, when they're not engaged in pro-social activities and they're just idle, it stands to reason that old adage of idle hands are the devil's playground.
South Dakota ranks 4th in the U.S. for having the highest rate of at-risk youth. The state is 3rd highest with percentage of young people without a high school diploma and 10th highest for youth homelessness. For the full report, go to our website at kotatv.com. Youth and Family Services opened its doors today, invited the community to see the organization's impact firsthand. The nonprofit hosted an open house, giving guided facility tours and a chance to learn more about the programs they provide, from early childhood education to youth counseling and family support services. CEO John Julia said the open house is all about building stronger connections with the community and showing how their support can help change lives.
This is part of the community, part of them. They're part of this by communicating to others about it, informing them. Other people support it with, some sort of maybe a donation, a financial donation, something that we need in order for programs like this to be available to those who are in need for those.
For more information on the programs offered at YFS, go to our website. Back in April, South Dakota's largest hunger relief organization felt the Trump administration's federal cuts, saying they led to a 14% reduction in their food inventory and 148,000 meals lost in that month alone. Today, Feeding South Dakota's inventory got a boost after receiving a generous donation. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints donated nearly 40,000 pounds of food to the organization. This isn't the church's first generous donation. Thomas Worsley is the chairman of the Feeding South Dakota Board of Directors and says the church has donated roughly 650,000 pounds of food to the state over the last 6 years. The church produces, cans, and packages food in Salt Lake City and is happy to help support Feeding South Dakota.
We use that food to care for members, and the donation that's coming here today is surplus food, the extra food that hasn't been needed, and the church donates many trucks of food to different food banks across the United States with a surplus from the food that they produce.
Worsley said he anticipates this won't be the last donation they receive from the church. In an effort to safely manage the influx of thousands of people who would descend upon the Black Hills area for the upcoming motorcycle rally, temporary traffic controls are beginning to appear. The South Dakota Department of Transportation has begun placing temporary traffic signals and reduced speed limit signs around Sturgis, Rapid City, and Hill City. Traffic signals will be placed in various locations, including both the east and westbound ramps of Interstate 90 exit 32, as well as Highway 34 and 79 east of Sturgis. The speed will be reduced on several highways, including I-90 from Deadwood Avenue to Sturgis from 75 to 65 miles per hour, as well as Highway 34 from 65 and 45 to 35 miles per hour from Blanche Street and Sturgis eastward. The DOT will have message boards and speed trailers on the interstate displaying messages regarding traffic conditions, crashes causing delays, and other messages as needed. The temporary controls will go into effect on Friday and will run through August 11th. Rapid City could soon welcome some big-name restaurants thanks to a proposed tax increment financing district. Tomorrow morning, the Planning Commission will discuss a new TIF district at 1902 North La Crosse Street, right off I-90. If approved, the $8.7 million plan could bring Chick-fil-A, Chipotle, Panda Express, and a Les Schwab Tire Center to the area. Mayor Jason Solomon calls it a big win for the city, saying it was not only highly anticipated, but also highly needed to fund public improvements.
To have a project like this that not only brings these businesses to Rapid City, but provides public improvements for Rapid City, helping to fund our Northside Police Precinct to boost public safety, helping to improve public infrastructure, and helping to really redevelop an area that is a bit blighted right now and really make it to be something special. At the end of the day, Rapid City should be very happy about this. It is by far the #1 request I ever get is around Chick-fil-A.
The proposal heads to the Legal and Finance Committee on July 30th and could reach the City Council by August 4th. We had a stormy night and a wet day, but what else is on the way? We'll let you know in your accurate First Alert forecast coming up later. But first, what do rising beef prices mean for local cattlemen? We'll tell you after the break. High beef prices are providing an economic opportunity for ranchers in South Dakota. KOTA Territory's Blake Trolley spoke with the Cattlemen's Association to find out more, and he has our story.
Ground beef prices rose nearly 12% year over year in June to $6.12 per pound. All uncooked steaks rose 8% to about $11.50 per pound. Eric Jennings, immediate past president of the South Dakota Cattlemen's Association, says the high prices have allowed ranchers to restore equity they lost over the last few years when beef prices were lower.
We had some drought, so people were having to buy some extra feed. That takes a toll on our finances. So these better prices, record high prices, give us the opportunity to build equity back into our operation, maybe replace some machinery or some large investments that we needed to make that got put off because we didn't have the money before, and then build up the reserves to get through the next downturn that we know will come sometime.
The higher prices are due to supply shortages as drought conditions across the country have led ranchers to shrink their herd sizes to match available feed. In western South Dakota, Jennings says drought conditions have improved over the last couple of years. According to Jennings, ranchers in the western part of the state depopulated their herds by about 20% a few years ago.
We were down on numbers, and I don't know that we've fully got those restocked. The prices have been high enough that producers have been apprehensive to hold back females to rebuild their herd as fast.
Jennings says he's forecasting good market conditions for the next several years, as he says it's going to take that long for beef supply to increase at grocery stores. Jennings says he does have concerns, however, that at some point the price of beef will raise too high and turn away customers. In Spearfish, Blake Trolley, KOTA Territory News.
Chief Meteorologist David Stradling is tracking the latest on a severe threat this evening. The details are in your accurate First Alert forecast next.
Now, the First Alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist David Stradling.
We have a severe thunderstorm watch in place until 8 p.m. for much of northeast Wyoming and parts of western South Dakota. The areas closest towards the Black Hills. And that's for those thunderstorms that are moving through KOTA territory now. We have this initial line of storms passing through the Black Hills, moving into southwest South Dakota currently, just south of Rapid City, some more moderate, heavier rainfall towards Hermosa, now southeast of Custer, and into southwest Custer County. These are going to continue to move kind of east-southeast through the evening hours. Some wind gusts up to 55 miles per hour are possible, maybe some pea-sized hail, also frequent lightning and some heavy rainfall within these thunderstorms. As you can see, some bright reds within the radar there. Just towards west Rapid City and the northwest part of town there up towards Piedmont, we are looking at some more of those light to moderate showers that are going to continue to pass through. A few more showers and thunder showers are moving through northeast Wyoming. Johnson County going to be moving into portions of Campbell County here pretty soon. Gillette and Wright may be seeing a few of those storms. And northeast of Sheridan, we have a kind of a broken line of storms that are moving through KOTA territory from southeastern Montana to northwest South Dakota. So these will continue to pass through, and we'll continue to have a few storms till about 8 to 10 p.m. before those storms really start to taper off and clear up as we go throughout much of the night. Temperatures right now are pretty calm. We have 80 in Rapid City out towards the airport, 79 in Pine Ridge. Rain-cooled air, Spearfish, Custer, Newcastle, all in the 50s right now. Our dew points are hanging on to the 60s currently in many spots, but it's not as muggy as what it has been with the upper 60s to near 70 as we've had the past few days, so it felt a little bit better outside for us. 80s are high tomorrow with a few storms in the afternoon. If we get some clearing and get enough sunshine, there may be a couple of strong storms, maybe severe. We'll keep an eye out on that for you as we go throughout the day tomorrow. More wind and hail, but we'll be watching those pretty closely. So as we go throughout the day tomorrow, we'll notice a couple of showers and thunderstorms firing around the Black Hills towards northeast Wyoming. Those will be sliding through South Dakota through the evening. A couple of showers and storms are possible Thursday night. And for Friday, we're mostly dry until we get towards later in the afternoon, where a couple of stray showers and storms may be possible. The next 4 days will really increase those temperatures into the upper 80s and low 90s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's going to be much warmer towards the end of the week. Dew points should drop into the 50s Saturday and Sunday, so nowhere near as muggy. We'll have a couple of stray storms possible, as I just showed you, for Friday afternoon, and something similar going into the day on Saturday before we dry out going into Sunday. So it should be a pretty nice weekend for us. Overnight tonight, a few low clouds are possible. Temperatures in the 60s and 50s. Not terrible overnight tonight. For tomorrow, highs will be in the 70s and 80s, just a little bit warmer than what we were for today. A few strong storms in the afternoon. Depends on how much sunshine we get, which will kind of help prime the atmosphere for that thunderstorm development. If we have a lot of that cloud cover, it may keep those storms at bay and keep them just as a shower or storm. Temperatures warm up over the next 3 days into the 80s and 90s after 70s tomorrow in the northern Black Hills region. And then for Rapid City, we have those 90s through Sunday, but we will cool off going into next week from 86 Monday to 74 on Wednesday. A few more storms and a little bit more humidity returning.
All right. The grass is growing like crazy with all this rain.
It sure is, and it's kind of hard to find a time to mow it with these cloudy mornings. It's too wet on the yard, and then you get home in the evening and you only have about an hour left to sunset. So
what are you going to do?
We'll find a time.
All right. Thank you, David. Coming up, some of the world's best cowboys and cowgirls are off to a great start at the days of 76 Rodeo in Deadwood. Plus, we hear from Timberlake native and South Dakota State grad Tucker Kraft as he looks to deliver a big season for the Packers. The Quick has all that and more next to KOTA Sports.
Happy dinner time, everybody. This year's Days of 76 Rodeo once again features some of the world's best cowboys and cowgirls. Now, the festivities roll on through Saturday with a PRCA performance at 7 o'clock each night. Let's take a look at the leaders going into this evening's second performance. Utah's Daxton Field grabbed the bareback lead last night with an impressive 81-point ride. Now, Riggin Smith is a great rodeo name, folks, and the Iowa Cowboy holds the saddle bronc lead with an 84. Arizona's Brad Moreno is first in bull riding with an 85.5-point ride. Glen Ullin, North Dakota's Cameron Mormon holds the steer wrestling lead with a time of 9.5 seconds on 2 runs. Blaine Lammers and Tell Sorensen hold the team roping lead with a time of 17.1 seconds on 2 runs. Montana's Haven Meggett is first in tie down roping with a time of 31.2 on 3 runs. Oklahoma's Kelton McMillan holds the top spot in steer roping with a time of 34.3 seconds on 3 runs. Ulrich's Lisa Lockhart is tops in barrel racing at 17.61 seconds. Now, the Days of 76 Rodeo rolls on tonight from Deadwood with a full PRCA performance at 7 o'clock. Training camps are off and running around the NFL, and at Packers camp, Timberlake native and South Dakota State's own Tucker Kraft is looking to deliver another big season. Kraft emerged as one of Green Bay's top receiving threats last year as he hauled in 50 passes for 707 yards, and he also proved to be a force in the red zone with 7 touchdown catches. Kraft is now focused on taking a step forward and putting up even bigger numbers this season, and for the former Jackrabbit, fundamentals and repetition are the keys to his success.
I'm looking to put it all together. I'm looking to have every resource I need based off the repetitions I've gotten over and over and over this offseason. I'm really being able to apply my technique and stack reps. You know, I just got a much better feeling of the game.
Since he's stepped on the scene, has kind of shown who he is as a playmaker and shown us reasons why we should just keep getting him the ball. But I think a big part of going in this season is going to be finding ways to continue to get Tuck the ball, get him as many touches as we can in a game because he's a dynamic playmaker.
Tucker Kraft getting things done. He'll look to deliver another big season for the Packers. Rapid City's Rylan Horning has won the South Dakota Golf Association's Junior Championship in Mitchell. Horning shot a 1/72 today to finish the 3-round 54-hole tournament at 9 over. Horning won by 3 strokes over Aberdeen's Olivia Braun. The South Dakota Mines volleyball team turned in a great season on the court last year, qualifying for the RMAC playoffs, but the Hard Rockers also got things done in the classroom. For the 7th straight year, the Mines volleyball team has earned the American Volleyball Coaches Association's Team Academic Award. The prestigious honor is presented to volleyball programs that maintain a year-long GPA of 3.3 or higher. The Hard Rockers finished last season with an 18-9 record. Mines opens a new season September 4th when it plays at Colorado Mines. Exciting stuff there, Jack. Always exciting when our area teams get things done both on the court and in the classroom.
All right. Hopefully the rain holds off. Legion baseball tonight.
That's right. Legion baseball tonight. Post 22 taking on Spearfish over at Fitzgerald. Couple games in the books. Sturgis drops game 1 to Yankton 5-1. Belfouche and Chamberlain tied at 6 in the 7th inning. That's at the Region 7B tournament.
All right. Thank you very much, Vic. And we'll be right back with your final forecast. Grammy Award-winning superstar Taylor Swift is being honored in a big way across the globe. Madame Tussauds has unveiled 13 new Taylor Swift wax figures. The historic tribute celebrates Swift's wildly successful Eras tour last year. You can see each wax figure has its own fan-favorite era look. It took 40 artists 14 months to create the wax figures. The colorful displays will be on display at Madame Tussauds in 13 cities across 4 continents. Can still hear some thunder rumbling out there.
Yeah, a little bit of thunder rumbling, some light showers. We take a look at first alert Doppler radar. The worst of the storms are south of Rapid City. Nothing severe, but some gusty winds, heavy rain, and frequent lightning are possible. A few more storms behind this initial line could be moving through this evening, and we'll be watching for those later on.
All right, that'll do it for us. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you tonight at 10.
Thanks for watching KOTA Territory News, your local news and weather authority.